In this video, I have two stories to tell you. They are now discussing the same subject. This is the initial one. Should Cardano or XRP Solana be included in a US cryptocurrency reserve? I irritate myself because, as I'll point out, the arguments against XRP are entirely ridiculous, and the discussion at hand is illogical. Additionally, this is from the Crypto Basic. According to pundits, no one can legitimately defend Bitcoin as a reserve asset over XRP. It's only a story. And absolutely true, people. This is merely a claim that only Bitcoin, not XRP or anything else, should be reserved. It's just because they want it and are biased. They are standing up for what is best for them. It's not a morally sound position. Additionally, their arguments are weak. In actuality, they typically don't even try to argue. They make statements based on their feelings. Before continuing, though, I have no prior experience in finance. I'm not giving financial advice. Whatever I say or write should not lead you to buy or sell anything. I'm merely a hobbyist who enjoys creating YouTube videos about cryptocurrency-related subjects. Does XRP have a place in a US cryptocurrency reserve? Indeed, XRP would be a logical choice for such a reserve if one were to be established. It has the ability. It's helpful. Isms of technology. It's simply key and is SOAR, and more. The utilities are moving in the correct way. Because it has been operational for so long, people have attempted to hack it for more than 10 years, but they have not succeeded. There are plenty of excellent explanations. There are many reasons why it makes sense to include XRP in your diversification into the cryptocurrency asset class. Allow me to briefly explain their point about XRP. I'll credit them for highlighting the counterargument, but only because a Cointelegraph has been irrationally bashing XRP for the past 10 years. However, they offer a counterargument to this, which should be clear from this one at least. People would stop saying dumb things if they were being intellectually honest. This is the subheading then. Well-known companies use XRP. Yet centralization is still a problem. That's correct, people. Were you aware that XRP is centralized? That's the claim. Some stupid people will still say that in 2025. The pace is as follows. According to Fugger Zaid, the chief operating officer of cryptocurrency exchange BitGet, whose name I probably butchered, XRP has a strong case for inclusion in the National Crypto Reserve. He told Cointelegraph that XRP is already a preferred method of cross-border payments, with major financial institutions using it to expedite transactions. Even if that weren't the case, early Bitcoin engineers built XRP. They were unsure about its potential future applications. All they were attempting to do was improve Bitcoin. I'm not speculating about what else they might have been attempting. They stated this. The precise purpose of it was unknown to them. In general, they believed that payments somehow constituted the entirety of it. They were early Bitcoin supporters. This feature is incredible and can be used as a bridge currency. Even without that, it would still be superior to Bitcoin. It still is. Therefore, even that should suffice. If you believe that Bitcoin, which is essentially useless, is sufficient, then XRP should also be considered. Peace is still in effect. XRP provides quicker and less expensive transactions for consumers and financial institutions than existing monetary systems. People would state that it is also far faster and cheaper than Bitcoin. XRP is so inexpensive that it could be given away for free. Each transaction costs a tiny fraction of a penny. Additionally, transactions happen so quickly that they could be considered real-time. They are. After 3 to 5 seconds, the block closes to settle the obstacle. In any case, several significant organizations, including American Express, SBI, and CM Commercial Bank, have tested or included XRP in their cross-border payment systems. The network has long been criticized for being more centralized than cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. The fact that Ripple owns a sizable amount of the XRP supply is one of the primary causes of this impression. When Bitcoin first started, 100 billion coins were pre-mined, and as of March 5th, more than 37 billion tokens remain held in escrow. Alright, the mining process does not exist. Before I got into cryptocurrency, people were saying that. It had already been mined. No, there was just no mining at all. All of XRP was made at the beginning. Even in 2025, they continue to say that. It's simply absurd. The year is 2025. Is this no longer excused? Mined beforehand. Then, what about Ripple's substantial holdings? This network isn't proof of stake. No unique authority over the XRP ledger is granted just because you have a certain amount of XRP. Complete halt. That's it. Therefore, if you're upset with an XRP concentration, then by all means don't invest in it. However, since Satoshi Nakamoto owns more than 1 million of the 21 maximum quantity of Bitcoin, I might argue the same thing about it. Therefore, it's a lower percentage of XRP than Ripple's, but so what? If it moves at all, the gigantic thing might have a terrible effect on the biosphere. The price of Bitcoin might plummet if anyone notices that any of that supply shifts. You may wish to act as though it isn't a problem, but it is. The idea is the same. Now you're whining about the whale's different sizes, even though they're both enormous. Hurry up. Additionally, we continue to observe that Ripple's holdings have declined over time. Thus, it will eventually reach a point where the proportion of XRP held by Ripple equals that of Bitcoin held by Satoshi Nakamoto. Who the devil cares then? Furthermore, it doesn't matter if it was mined or created all at once. Functionally, it makes no difference after it's all in the wild. This is why this argument is so incredibly foolish. It has never been logical. Anyway, the article goes on. Nevertheless, arguments are contradicting the claims of decentralization. To give third-party organizations more influence over the network's validation process, Ripple has gradually decreased the number of its validators. Furthermore, as the network functions autonomously and transactions settle in seconds, XRP transactions do not need Ripple's permission. Additionally, Ripple has stated time and time again that it does not control XRP, and that it is legally distinct from the XRP ledger. That's undoubtedly accurate. However, I wish this had been included. Right there on your screen, you can see that there is one validator from Ripple. Count them. That's it. Ripple has one. The XRP ledger would keep working if they took that away. Of course it would. There are 948 nodes and 199 validators. The only validator in Ripple is one. They used to have more, but they followed through on their pledge to eliminate them, as doing so helped decentralize the network. What would you like Ripple to do then? Get rid of them all? Literally? Because even if they did, the poisonous Bitcoin maximalists would still be able to make these blatantly false claims. They wouldn't be deterred. And then there's this. According to pundits, no one can technically defend Bitcoin as a reserve asset over XRP. It's only a story. Proponents of Bitcoin have said that prominent members of the XRP community cannot demonstrate that XRP and other assets are inappropriate for the United States crypto reserve. XRP's inclusion in President Trump's planned U.S. Many Bitcoin supporters, who contend that Bitcoin is a reserve asset for the U.S. on its own merits, are incensed about the crypto reserve. Advocates of XRP, meanwhile, think that XRP is equally qualified as Bitcoin. XRP enthusiasts have questioned what criteria qualified Bitcoin while disqualifying XRP as a strategic reserve asset, given the opposition from Bitcoin proponents. For example, Gemini Exchange co-founder Tyler Winklevoss stated in a tweet that he had nothing against Cardano or Solana XRP. He does not think they are appropriate for a strategic reserve, though. He claims that only Bitcoin satisfies the requirement at the moment. Critics quickly pointed out that he had neglected to specify which specific bar was in question. In response to Winklevoss's tweet, Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, said, "Notice how they never tell you what the threshold is." Similarly, well-known CNBC trader Rand Nooner said in a different interview that he wouldn't take any US Cardano and XRP are part of the crypto reserve. Nooner did not offer any justification or basis for rejecting these assets as appropriate reserve assets. Mikkel, a member of the XRP community, highlighted the tendency amid this. This is his post. Note that nobody can really explain a technical reason why Bitcoin is a better reserve asset than other XRP. Mikkel added, "It's just a story, nothing more. Thus, it is unquestionably a story." I concur with that. This is the best I've seen, and there aren't any excellent explanations. I disagree with a lot of stuff. Therefore, I will still have to destroy this. Based on this response, this guy is not a maximalist. It's okay that he's merely attempting to argue. Exercise and critical thought are acceptable. However, he believes what he is saying. Take it for what it's worth. According to different posts, he does hold Bitcoin and XRP. However, the poisonous Bitcoin maximalist will not attempt to replicate his actions here. I'm showcasing this on my channel because it's the greatest I've discovered. I have nothing against him. This is the best I could find. It's not excellent, and you'll see why right here in a moment. He did, however, reply to Mikkel. "Many others have, Mikkel," he said, "but you don't want to hear it for some reason. Hold on a second. Many have given reasons. Perhaps they are fabricated for reasons like, well, let me say this. There have been claims against XRP, and while you could argue that's one of the reasons, they're not supported by facts. For example, what did I point out regarding XRP's centralization in the absence of a central point of failure? If I were to ask you where the central point of failure is, I would show you a global map with dots representing all of the validators and nodes. Did you manage to locate it? It doesn't exist. Hence, the answer is no. We do see that, but that's an argument. That's what we're hearing. It is unavoidable. That shit is all over. However, do you mean arguments based on facts? Since those aren't visible to me, I'll just say these are his points of contention. First, A company's work or relationships have no bearing on the value of Bitcoin, and vice versa. If Ripple dies, so does XRP. You only need to examine the connection to the SEC case to see that. Alright? That is undoubtedly untrue. From a technical standpoint, the XRP ledger functions if Ripple is removed. For example, if they go out of business and the Ripple validator is no longer there. That isn't a dispute. Therefore, if you claim we aren't paying attention, you already have a weak case. That's a different argument if you're referring to the market price that dies. And that's not true even there. And consider why. By citing the SEC case, he is discussing the market. Indeed, the SEC lawsuit had a detrimental influence on XRP's price, primarily due to the government's successful manipulation of the situation. That's how the government decided who would win and who would lose. And they decided to launch a full-scale assault against Ripple, which will affect the price of XRP globally. They did just that. Ripple wasn't that. Therefore, if you're claiming that XRP dies, then if Ripple dies, wouldn't that depend on what Ripple does? Because you claim that the SEC's actions caused the price shift. And I concur with that. How does that relate to what Ripple did at the time? The reasoning is not sound. It's a weak argument. All I have to do is look at the correlation of the SEC case if XRP dies, and if Ripple dies, he says. That is evidence that the SEC has always had greater control over the price of XRP globally than Ripple ever has. Regardless of how good they are, you can look at nearly all of Ripple's news pieces that discuss XRP or don't. Select any of them. Track the exact moment when the news was released and let me know if the price of XRP changed. No, you're correct. That's right. The response is, it doesn't. In reality, I encountered a variety of folks in previous years who may have been unfamiliar with cryptocurrency and didn't comprehend it. I will admit that some people complained that Ripple was not increasing its price despite all of this positive news, since they were unaware it was a decentralized cryptocurrency. Another reason I find this problematic is that he is essentially arguing that it is a bad thing that a developer is attempting to use the XRP ledger as a bridge currency because it offers utility. You're telling me that Ripple isn't trying to use Bitcoin because it's not the ideal option for a bridge currency, and while it's safe, it can't go away. But XRP dies without Ripple? No, that isn't logical. Additionally, it disregards the other developers expanding upon the XRP ledger and the users genuinely using it to transfer currency globally. Numerous companies find it functionally helpful if you look at the 15, 16, and 17 amicus papers submitted in the SEC v. Ripple case. Therefore, no, it wouldn't die. Even if Ripple were to go out of business, it would still make for a startling headline. And even if that lowers the price of XRP, it still survives because markets establish new standards. But since Ripple's actions haven't affected the price of XRP, I'm not even giving up that point. However, these are simply bad points based on what the SEC has. They're not because I don't want to hear them. These are negative points. The second is this: the ownership of Bitcoin is entirely decentralized. The highest stake, at 5%, has lain dormant for many years. One corporation owns more than 40% of XRP. Alright, this is a weak argument, and I have already discussed it. When it comes to whales, they are whales. Alright? You have complete control over the price of Bitcoin. If any of Satoshi's Bitcoin comes to life, the market will go wild. Furthermore, the number of people who would panic would not change if Satoshi Nakamoto had 2 million Bitcoins rather than 1 million. It makes no difference. When it comes to whales, they are whales. That's it. This is not logical. And once more, XRP will eventually make up a lesser portion. Over time, Ripple's ownership of XRP will decrease significantly. They used to have literally 80%, you know. They now own slightly more than 40%, but less than 50%. He is correct in that regard. Yes, it is a whale, but this is also completely transparent. Additionally, because it's an escrow, Ripple simply has no motive to flood the market. For that reason alone, the case is even weaker. For example, none of these arguments are weak. These arguments are flawed. It simply isn't practical. Furthermore, because Bitcoin is the worst cryptocurrency ever made, you're not even taking into account XRP's advantages in terms of functionality and performance. Since Bitcoin was the first, it is the worst. Third, the world's most potent network is Bitcoin. China became fully worldwide and 5 times more powerful after capturing half the hash rate. It has never fallen. Alright, what justifies XRP's exclusion from a cryptocurrency reserve? There's no logic behind that. What exactly are you discussing? Once more, I have already discussed centralization with XRP, if that is the path you wish to take. A primary point of failure does not exist. It just doesn't matter. Thus, it's functional. All of the stuff is irrelevant. Furthermore, that is not a significant point. Fourth, He claims that Bitcoin's ownership is the most varied in terms of all criteria, including the number of barriers, geographic dispersion, social classes, and institutional portfolio penetration. In summary, Bitcoin has already achieved network effects on the most crucial parameter, acceptability, while XRP. However, having a fervent fan base is not even near, alright? This sounds so utterly untrue. The fact that something has a more well-known brand doesn't necessarily mean that XRP doesn't like it. Consider that Bitcoin Maximus would have made the same claim years ago when those measures less favored Bitcoin than XRP is now. They'll suggest that since Bitcoin is currently at the top, we should continue implementing favoritism to keep it there. It's not a convincing argument. XRP is widely used. Its market capitalization is substantial. Today, it ranks third. This isn't the case. Just now, XRP generated around $36 billion in volume daily. You can discuss how Bitcoin's volumes and other metrics are higher because it was the first to market. Still, that reasoning does not justify accepting any other cryptocurrency in a reserve. This reasoning is flawed. There is no logic behind it. Because investing solely in Bitcoin as a strategic reserve carries risks, diversifying makes sense. What happens if Satoshi goes online? What happens if it falls? Even if I acknowledge that it is unlikely, what if a flaw in the Bitcoin code is discovered? You're not diverse after that. This is all illogical. It's not rational. Fifth, Bitcoin's value has increased most predictably. XRP is far more erratic and hasn't yet recovered from its 2017 peak. Alright, that is simply untrue. He isn't aware that XRP has reached a new all-time high. The highest point ever reached occurred on January 4th, 2018. Yes, it struck it. Is he simply not listening? Or what exactly are we discussing here? Regarding growth and predictability, have you all heard about the SEC's attack on Ripple? Since you mentioned it in your post, the response is in the affirmative. Could that have led to a different course of events than they did? Suppose you are the government of the United States, which has the most significant capital market in the world. In that case, you might have some effect when you intentionally repress a cryptocurrency. Therefore, I cannot take this seriously. It was operating smoothly, it took off in 2017 and the first part of 2018 when it made sense. During that cycle, it was the world's best performing coin, rising in value by about 80,000% from the bottom to the top. After that, it is artificially suppressed, and once that suppression is lifted, the market is experiencing a bull market. It is once again outperforming all other markets. That tells you something because XRP makes sense in the eyes of the world. Nothing could be more precise. Therefore, these are the strongest arguments I've seen made, even though they're not that strong. And once more, I'm criticizing his arguments rather than him personally. I said that I don't think they make solid arguments. The truth is, they're not. Almost everything about them is incorrect, as is the reasoning behind these arguments. I disagree with it. There's no logic behind it. Once more, as Mikkel stated, nobody can explain a technical reason why Bitcoin is a superior reserve asset over XRP. Most of them are unsure of how to respond to it. That explains why you typically notice it. However, when someone tries to explain it, this is the best they can manage, and it's simple to destroy. Therefore, we don't object to hearing it. The majority of people don't say it, and you're mistaken if this is the best available. You're simply incorrect. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I write or say should influence you to buy or sell anything. That is an awful idea.